We were very glad months ago to score a reservation to the Splintered Wand Wizard Pub in Ballard, Washington. My Peterson cousins joined us, and we all enjoyed ourselves immensely. As soon as we entered the acute-angle vintage brick building with hanging pub signs on both sides, we loved all the spooky style decor that might as well have come from our own extensive collection. The first floor had the smaller tables, and the bar was in the basement with a few more walk-in tables, a cool dragon bowl, absinthe fountains, and fresh flower garnishes, all ready for magical drinks. Our table was up the stairs, past the wanted sign, on the third floor in the euphorium, where they seat the larger parties. Our witty server, with horns, gave us puzzles to entertain us while we waited for our drinks and food, but of course I jumped up to document the library-style decor, complete with a moving portrait, and even our same dragon faucets in both bathrooms. The menu was printed on both sides, with fun fonts on one side versus plain language on the back so that everything was clear. We coordinated different drinks and food among the 6 of us so we could have the maximum experience. I wanted to see everything with fog, smoke, sparkles, or any kind of magical effects. First drinks to arrive were the pretty purple falernum haze of green chartreuse, falernum, mandarin Napoleon, pineapple and lime with mint leaves and gummy ring garnish, then a bubbling fish mug from the depths with fresh orchid and dry ice hiding dark rum pear wassail, orgeat, lime, and coconut. Other drinks were clever even without effects, such as the star anise garnish and the mezcal margarita When Stars Fall, the absinthe lushing apparatus we saw at the next table, or the egg white foam with fancy swirls on the gin cocktail with sherry, Montenegro, and lemon. But then it was time for the fanciest drinks.
Okay. All right, so the story behind Eudora's ghost. She's the poltergeist of the house. Typically, she's the one who's always breaking my glasses and tripping me up the stairs. But we found out this likes grapefruit juice, so be free to grapefruit juice and she'll leave me alone. There's that. That's pretty. Yes. Now the Ballard demon in the cup here, my poor cousin, getting juiced every night. Here they are.
Is it like a candy pineapple wedge?
Yes. That is the orange brulee. So take a little bit of sugar, put it on top of an orange slice, and then caramelize it, brulee it. And that'll act as a sweetener for the Ballard. Alright, drinks are done.
Alright. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We shared some fun appetizers, tadpole in a hole Yorkshire puddings, a charcuterie board with green cheese, and the deviled harpy eggs with rainbow-colored whites. After some more puzzles, our entrees arrived as several pub pies with various fillings, like storm buffalo, mushroom and leek, and butter griffin, and salmon dinner dressed with a daisy. Thankfully, the entrees were reasonable portions, since that left room for magical desserts. A couple got the clinging toffee pudding, and the cauldron cake was darkly decadent, with blood orange foam and blackberry mousse covered in shimmering galactic ganache all over chocolate cake. But I wanted the most magical effects, and I guessed correctly that the spitting fizzle nest put on the best show, with a noodle nest of ice cream topped with fairy floss and fizz sauce to make it spit.
Don't be gentle with it, you gotta pour it.
Dump it?
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready? Ready for a potion?
And this does spit.
There it is, I hear it.
Like, it might get in your eyes.
I hear the spittle fizzing. Nice.
You have some clean utensils in the middle.
Awesome, yes, thank you. Yay, nice. Magical dessert. The wand experience on the second floor was impressively detailed information overload of their original wand lore using local woods only from the Pacific Northwest, selecting a wood wand omphalos with hollow handle, then several lighted jars of possible wand heart magical ingredients to insert into a tiny jar in the wand handle, finished with a wood cap. The wand heart alabastron ingredient chose the wizard with lights flashing until only one jar was left.
Handing this to you. Take this with the hand that you write with, and then don't move a muscle. Okay. Right here. Okay, right there. Now, when I say you can give it a flick over the orb, or a swish, or a whack, or an over the head, I don't really care. Just don't abuse the orb, and don't move until I say. Besides blinking and breathing. So, very still. Give it a flick. Very nice. Okay, hello. One more time. Yeah. I don't. Oh, you're eating. being temperamental. It's okay, you guys. It's not silent. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, now one more time. Temperamental. Oh my god. Maybe not this one then. Okay, well, let's see. That one's not meant to be. Yeah, I missed this one, so that makes sense. Go for the muscle. Stage right this time. Get the flip. Right. And on the low section, let's put that in the time. Oh, I may have to be correct. Would you put that one in timeout? I'm nervous about it. Okay.
Yes,
We can move now.
Okay. What's in here?
These are the feathers of an avascauda, which, yeah, we think it's a bird. But honestly, I say that in truth, we don't know what it is, we just know what they do. What they do is they have the ability to transmute their tails into that of any other living creature's tail. And what they're known for is finding a creature being pursued by hunters, it will transform its tail and detach it from its body like a newt into their path so that they think that they shot and they missed. Or they'll take the tail as a trophy rather than pursue the hunt, but in either case it's meant to be self-sacrificial. However, avascauda only has one tail, so it always comes back for it. And that means if it was left on the ground, it'll be scooped back up and be on its way. But if the hunter took the tail, and they see an avascauda, let alone hear one, which is onomatopoeic, they should drop it and run in the other direction. Usually in vain, which is why we know what they are, but not what they really look like. Because it's a hunter in one moment and a plume of black feathers on the ground in the next. Maybe because they're consumed, maybe because now they're avascauda too. But they're certainly not against scaring a lesson into arrogant children, we know that. And they do not tolerate abuse of any kind that's especially animal and familial. So this is not a wand to beat your siblings with, and this is not a wand to go fishing with. But what it represents is an intellectual righteousness and a dark sense of humor, which is why we were asking. It adds a little bit of character to the wand. In this way, I say righteousness, I do not mean moral. It doesn't give a damn if you jaywalk or frankly kill another person. But if you throw a rock at a bird, the avascauda will come for you. So most frequently we find that it creates a middle ground between its ethical code and your own. It follows that to the letter. And if anyone steps out of line and it has to say something, it's usually worth listening to. So quite absolute, quite independent. But I mean, a sort of dark sense leadership one, that's what that has produced, which I think would be all sorts of fun.
Yeah.
Flashy, but also in a kind of macabre sort of way. Expect something sort of gothic.
I was thinking.
Yeah. So, exercise some groundedness. It needs a room to fill. It can't exist in a vacuum, but it does need some amount of direction because on its own, it will be destructive. Or at least, it won't stop. So, yeah, it'll tire itself out.
My wand is white oak with avascauda heart. Glenn thinks my first round was actual malfunction, but I think it was drama designed into the experience, like Harry's first wand in Ollivander's. What do you think? We thank the kindred spirits who created this wonderful wizardly experience to share with others. Thank you for showing us such a magical time at the Splintered Wand.